I never publish a wage for a job. Do you know why I never publish a wage for a job?
Tell me why. That seems weird to me.
It is weird, and it drives some people crazy. But therein lies one of the benefits of doing things differently. Here's why I don't publish a wage. If I say something pays this much, anybody that's used to making more than that isn't even going to apply. Anybody that applies for it is most likely going to be people who are now making less than that. So their inclination is going to be to convince me that they're worth more than they're currently making. And they may be right. And I will say this, our system will definitely in the end reward that. If we do start somebody that's under their wage, there will be adjustments for what happens. So that does a few things. It allows someone who may not have otherwise applied to apply and to say, here's my wage. And oftentimes it's like, well, we couldn't even afford that if we tried. And even there's part of me, like a little person in me, it says, see, you just wasted that person's time. You know, you should have given them at least an idea of. But I've also had situations where the wage was quite a bit higher than I expected. And it made sense because that person may not have been the right person for that job, but I had another plan in mind for later down the road. And it opened up a dialogue with me and that person or whoever is in the, whoever's doing in the hiring process for your company. And it also helps me find a lot about somebody's genuine honesty.
Explain.
So people will reply in a number of different ways. Some people will just ignore it. Some people will just flat out tell you. And other people will squirm. They squirm in an email. You should see this. It's a pretty amazing thing to see. And they will just say, well, I didn't put away.
I've seen squirmy emails.
Right? You know what I'm talking about. They just avoid they want you to go first. Now, I'm not saying that anybody that wants to know what the wage is ahead of time before applying for a job, there's anything wrong with that person. They're absolutely 100% employable. This has nothing to do with whether they fit or not. But it tells me something about their character and what will happen later on when they become part of the team. I know that they are going to approach things in the sense of, I need to know what's in it before I move forward. So before I do any work, I'm not going to do any work until you tell me what the deal is, right? Now, again, I'll be very careful not to say that that's a bad thing for somebody to do, but you won't get further than sending your resume, as far as I'm concerned. Sometimes people will be as bold as saying, I've had people say things like, I'm not going to negotiate against myself. And when people get to that point, then I know they're probably what I would call a consultative employee.
Consultative employee.
Or they may even reach the level of entrepreneurist. Remember we had a show about entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Yeah. And too often those are people who are looking for a place where they can improve that place, they can improve that business through their consultative experience and nature. And those people never work well in our
really
ever. Yeah, I've tried it a few times because sometimes it just feels it's just way too tempting. They've got exactly the right experience. They've got a lot more experience than me maybe at certain things. They have they've got demonstratable skills. They've done this in other ways. And when they come in, their goal is good, to make the company better, but too often it's to make the company better for their own satisfaction.
And in the journalism world, in the newspaper world, in the media world, we get a lot of those.
Yeah. No, and so what I say to that person is, there's nothing wrong with that, but go start a business. You've got everything you need to start a business. You have The only thing you don't have maybe is the willingness to take the risk, and there I can't help you. No one can help you with that. So that doesn't work. That doesn't work for us. The wage thing, when someone doesn't answer, then we start a dialogue, and we say one of the things that we asked for in the job application or in the job listing was for you to put forward, your beginning wage, what you request for a beginning wage, and then we started back and forth. This is the other thing that I insist. I insist that we have some dialogue back and forth, typically through email, with the person that we're hiring. I learn so much about how people reply, what they say when they reply, how quickly they reply, everything. I can really glean a lot about a person through that. So I want there to be some back and forth dialogue. It's really, really important. So I'm just telling everybody, look, find those patterns. Don't just necessarily do what I'm saying we do. Certainly try it if it works for you, but find patterns that work, and don't wait for a job to open in your organization to hire a great person. So when you find someone that checks all those boxes, if I find someone who's genuinely honest, who's demonstrably reliable, right, and is sensible, I do everything I can to find a place for them. I will, and the other thing I'm telling everybody out there, if you don't want to own your own business, but you want to work for a great company, don't apply for the job that's listed. Start applying for the jobs that aren't even listed. Beat your competition to the punch.
And you mean present yourself as someone who's more qualified than the job that's listed while applying to that job, or do you mean? Explain.
What I'm saying is, you want to get a great new job? You want to work for a great new company? Start by writing a list. Just brainstorm. Write a list of all the greatest jobs you could have. And do not let anything get in the way. If being an astronaut is one of them, write it down. Write down everything that you would love to do for the rest of your life or the rest of your working career. Then take that list and try to write a list with each one of them that makes any common sense for where you live or what you're willing to do. Make a list of all businesses that would have a job that would allow you to do that. Okay? And do not defeat yourself by saying, oh, they'd never hire me. I could never get a job there. Just get that out of your head. This is not the part of the exercise. That's not part of the exercise. The exercise is to just think of everything you possibly can. So everything you want to do, write down every business that could provide that job for you. Then research each of those companies and find the top 4 or 5 that you think have what you're looking for, and reach out to them tomorrow and say, I'm very interested in your company for these reasons. Is there somebody that I could talk to about a job now or in the future?
talknorth.com is powered by Bite Squad. Go to bitesquad.com or download their app. Get food to your door in minutes. Use the promo code TALKNORTH to get your first delivery free. Talk North gets you your first delivery free.
And you've had that experience? Or
I have had that experience. I have had that experience. And it's part of why I got, it is how I got the printing job.
I remember that story.
Yep. And that went from selling appliances in a retail store to printing company representative, flying out to New York and having meetings with the likes of Rolling Stone. Playboy. Did I have Playboy too?
You didn't tell me about Playboy.
I had Playboy too. It was great.
Did you meet Hunter S. Thompson? That's what I really want to know.
I did not meet Hunter S. Thompson. But let me just tell you, this is interesting. Maybe I said this or not. When you go to Playboy and you are waiting for your appointment, and they're all fantastic people. Or they were back in 1994 or whatever it was when I was selling printing. They sit you down in a waiting table and a coffee or waiting area with a coffee table completely filled with Playboy magazines. Let me tell you the dilemma that a guy has while he's sitting there.
I can imagine.
And it's because you're saying to yourself, it just wouldn't be right to, it's maybe I don't want to read the articles, right? Or but at the same time, when the person that I'm meeting with comes down and I've totally ignored their product,
right?
Will I offend somebody? It's a dilemma.
You could always just tell them, well, I've read them already.
Yeah, see, then you might as well just open it up and start reading.
Yeah, true. True.
Anyway, oh boy, we got off tangent there. So I think everybody should do that. And there's right now, the people listening, there are people who are employed someplace that are saying, that's BS, that's never going to work, that's pie in the sky. And that's probably 95% of the people. Maybe I shouldn't make these estimates. I should have more faith in the listening audience. But there's 5 people out of 100 that are going to do this. And it's not going to surprise me at all if we get some sort of correspondence from somebody a few months down the road saying, I did what you said and I got a great job. I think it's totally doable. So you the other thing you do when you're having this dialogue back and forth with people is you're able to set the stage for what the job is and what the job isn't. Because another thing that happens quite often is people will say, well, this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what the job description said. This didn't, And as I've said, we don't have job descriptions. So I tell people that right away. They say, well, what do you think I will be doing? I say, well, right now the need is we need someone who can do this. But I also tell them that almost nobody in our company is in the position they started with. And many are in positions that they would have never thought they were with. And that's the beauty of a business that is bossless and expanding, is that there's all kinds of opportunities that people wouldn't even know that they had. You need to tell people that up front. It's very, very important to get a good relationship with people. And you'll find people that are just very scared of that.
I can imagine.
They really, really want to know exactly what am I have to do, and if I do these things, what's the result going to be? And again, I think they fit really great in other organizations, but that person has a real tough time in our environment. So.
Joe has done a lot of shows on this network. You can go back and look through the archive if you're interested in some of the stories we're referencing right now. Also, if you'd like to advertise with this program or anywhere on the talknorth.com podcast network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. And please remember, if you're interested in Shopify, go to talknorth.com and click on the Shopify link.
Yeah. So, Jim, I think that sums up really what I would say. I think... I want you to think differently. I'm saying to approach it differently. Beat your competition to the best employees by doing it this way. I think you'll be happy if you try something different. So, with that, we're going to wrap up the show. Thanks again, Jim. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. And talk to you next week.
Have a great day.
You just want to provide the best service you can. And you know marketing is vital to build your business, but it's also overwhelming and confusing. Successful Marketing Group is passionately committed to businesses, helping them get found, get customers, and build dreams. Successful Marketing Group understands your problems and truly wants to help you be successful, providing digital marketing packages with proven results. Go to successfulmarketinggroup.com/Cheryl Reeve for a free 45-minute audit and action plan. That's successfulmarketinggroup.com/Cheryl Reeve.